Welcome to today's antiviral meditation, being certain in uncertainty, or what should really be titled accepting or perhaps embracing uncertainty. So before we start, just check in with how you're feeling this morning. Oh, hello from Millie. Hello, Mill. Gosh, the picture quality is pretty average. Anyway, you're not average though, are you, darling? One thing's for certain, she's very cute. So before we start, could you just check in with how you're feeling? So go inside to your body and just notice what the sensations are and what emotion you might attach to that. If you can't attach an emotion, it's okay. Just go inside and notice the feelings in your body. And then just notice the intensity of those feelings today. And that's going to be our starting point. Put a little jingling, that's her bell. I had to put bells on her so she could give poor lizards and things a warning. She's a bit of a hunter. I love her, but she's a bit of a murderer at some times. That makes me a bit sad. But anyway, you're very cute. All right, so now that you've done that check-in, I'm going to talk a little bit about uncertainty. So one thing in life is guaranteed, and that's for sure, and that is uncertainty. Life is dynamic and things change, and sometimes they change fast as the world's experienced. So unfortunately, you're going to sit still. Just try and get it comfortable. There we go. Unfortunately, our survival brains really hate uncertainty. Not being able to predict what lurks around the corner really agitates us and means potential death to our brains. And, you know, when there is potential death, it just makes it go bonkers, even though it's not imminent and right here in your face at this very moment, like you're not standing on the precipice. So, you know, our brains have this threat response that causes all the blood to drain away from our prefrontal cortex in our brain and go all to the big muscles of our legs and arms so we can run away or fight. And it means that we can't any longer, it floods that emotional center floods our thinking centers, our executive part of our brain. So we act impulsively to save our lives. And even if, you know, we're not under imminent threat, as I said. So, you know, even if you're standing trying to buy some toilet paper and there's no toilet paper there, you can feel like you're potentially dying. So our brain really craves that certainty, to be in control and to be safe. It craves predictability so much that it would rather be miserable in an uncertain environment than miserable in a certain environment than be uncertain, which explains a lot of people's behaviour and choices they make. Research shows that uncertainty is even more stressful than knowing something bad is definitely going to happen. So, you know, it's more stressful wondering about whether you're going to lose your job or your business than being sure that it's going to happen. So uncertainty can also contribute to creating anxiety and fear, which can also factor into physical pain as well. So we can feel that physical sensation in our bodies. If we have a need to be certain and try and control things outside of ourselves, we're pretty much setting ourselves up for living fearfully or at the very least in a frustrated way. So our choices are really be certain and fearful and crave the way things used to be, or be certain and curious, and have an outlook where you're looking for new possibility, looking to create a new sense of what could be. So really being like a little explorer, and being able to surrender to uncertainty. And that's in our best interest, really, is to surrender to uncertainty. And that's really the skill that we can develop. So how do you create more certainty in these uncertain times? Well, first of all, it's helpful to accept that the only thing we can control about is ourselves. She's still on my lap, in case you wonder. There you go. Wishing circumstances were different or trying to control the uncontrollable will generate stress and fear and frustration. And when we're trying to give up control of, when we can give up control of external circumstances and focus on creating certainty from within ourselves, we can create a more measured way of being, regardless of circumstances. And that requires some practice to get there. Mightn't necessarily be natural, come naturally. So, being dedicated to practicing the skills is really important. To do this, you can practice the art really of allowing things to be just as they are, or surrender, as the Buddhists might refer to it, to whatever the situation is. Things just as they are, and accept things without applying a meaning immediately, but just being with what is really helpful. So things are as they are, and so be it. It's okay not to like it, but it's important to accept it. And once you have, you can shift towards empowering yourself to become more decisive and calm, and that will help you navigate your way forward. And this means we can all plan and make better decisions, of course, which is important at this time. So practicing quietening our brain, making decisions from a place of being grounded first, and not making decisions out of fear is a really good practice to get into. So how else can we create certainty? Well, one of the really simple things that you can do is to create a daily routine. If you create a daily routine and your brain knows that's what you're going to do, it helps your brain be very quiet, because it doesn't have to predict the unknown. It knows what to do. You take decisions out of your life, so that reduces overwhelm, and then brain can predict what's coming next. So if you have a daily routine where you wake up and do something immediately to either reduce stress, whether it's move your body, or whether it's to move your body, or to meditate, or to read something that's nutritious for your mind, that sets your direction in the right place. It's really important to set your direction first thing in the morning. If you look at something beautiful in the morning, which is try and look at a beautiful plant or the sun, that can immediately help direct your focus to something that's useful and that your brain can settle on, that makes it feel safe. So that's really important. Something in the middle of the day, a touch base. I like to just do some breathing. I think in this environment at the moment, it's really prudent to maybe practice that every hour if you can. If you're in that sort of space where you're able to do that. So something in the morning, a routine in the morning, something in the middle of the day, and certainly something at the end of the day to direct your focus. Setting an intention. Actually, that's done. I do that at the beginning of the day. Reviewing what's been working okay during the day, working well, that you're grateful for. Gratefulness is a great practice. And that creates certainty, because it's not something you're making up, it's something that you're certain about. So if you create these routines, your brain can start being directed that way, and it helps calm the brain. So routines really help. So think of instilling those in your day if you haven't already. So this meditation that we're about to do aims to help reframe certainty in a way that, so you can accept what is, and so you can become a little bit more empowered to respond and consciously create your way forward. Oh, Mill. Oh, sorry. Getting unsettling. It will really help you move from fear and panic and shift towards consciously creating life moment by moment, to be important. Alrighty, so I'm going to shift to just sharing my screen with you so you can see this. There we go. I'm going to put Millie down because she's really heavy. Oh, there we go, darling. Sit down. Oof. Yep, Shake out that uncertainty, Millie. That's a girl. And right, we're going to start with our meditation. We'll get the dog sitting down. You're hearing a jingling in the background, just let that be a reminder that you're in the right place. And just direct your attention back to my voice. Okay, so start by sitting up with your back straight and shoulders relaxed and your feet grounded on the floor. Really feel the floor beneath you, supporting you. The certainty of that support of the floor being there. And just put your fingertips together like this and take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you continue to breathe in deeply through your nose and slowly out through your mouth, shift all your attention to your breath. The fact that you can definitely feel your breath and know your breath is in your body, and that your breath is supporting you, flowing in and out. Feel the certainty of the oxygen flowing in as it comes in through your nose. Being able to track the journey of the oxygen as it flows out, slowly, even more slowly through your mouth. Certain of the fact that you can influence the depth of your breath, how deep it comes in, how long you hold it, and how slowly you release it, and playing with that. Breathing more deeply, holding it for a little bit longer than you normally would, and then releasing it twice as slow as you normally might. And then playing with it some more and elongating the breaths a little more, breathing in more deeply, holding it for a little longer still, and slowly releasing it out your mouth. And this time as you breathe in, knowing the breath's there, just breathe into a sense in your body of knowing that place where you know things to be true for you. And breathe into that place and expand it. And just allow anything that you've been trying to control outside yourself to just be as it is. And breathe in full acceptance of where you are now and what's here now. Full acceptance that although you can't control events around you, you can control your breathing. Knowing that you can choose to focus your attention on your inner world that you can control with your breath in and slowly out. The uncertainty around you inviting you to reflect inwardly, connecting with yourself in silent acceptance of what is, without judgment. Inviting in a curiosity to explore and be on an adventure watching things unfold as an observer as you continue to breathe in, observing your breath, and slowly and deliberately breathing out because you can control your breathing. And as you draw your attention inside yourself now, bring your attention to your heart. Notice the sensations of your heart beating in your chest, knowing that it's there, without you even having to do anything. It beats with certainty, knowing its job, minute by minute, day by day, beating, knowing, certainty. And you can be certain when you tune into your heart, certain of its beating. And now that you can allow your focus to settle in on your heart, just allow the energy of your heart to start to expand. Really feel that energy in your heart and the beating of your heart expand. Allow it to expand all the way out and fill up your chest, the cavity of your chest, with that powerful energy of your heart, the energy of love. And just allow that feeling of love, the energy of your heart, of knowing, the one certainty of love to be there. As it expands out now, it enables you to feel that sense of knowing, certain about who you are and the way forward, certain about just being. And as you do focus on your heart now, allow that energy of your heart to expand all the way out to encapsulate your whole body in the knowing of love and the energy of your heart. And as you sit here now, surrounded in the energy of love, the power of your heart, you can ask yourself to bring forward the things that you are certain of, certain for sure to come forward. And there's many of them now as you start to think about it. Certain of the air in your lungs, certain of your heart beating in your chest, certain of the warmth of the sun when it shines on your face and your back, illuminating your inner being, your soul, connecting you to all that is, all that's possible. Notice what you can feel certain about now. And notice that you can consciously direct your focus in a way that serves you, being decisive about who you are and who you're going to be in life moving forward, more decisive, more grounded, certain about who you are, who you want to be, your contribution, decisive and choosing empowerment. Because as you bathe in the energy and the light of your heart, you know that's the bridge to certainty. The certainty of knowing the love that's in your heart, the certainty of knowing who you love. the certainty of knowing what's important to you, the certainty of growing and expanding, accepting the expansion, knowing that's the only way forward. As you consider now that love that you're surrounded by, generated by your heart energy, can help you breathe in knowing, new levels of knowing and possibility, and allowing yourself to be anchored in the light of that heart space now. And now, sitting in the space of your heart, you can be certain of change. You can be certain that things move and shift, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. And you notice you can view all that change through the lens of new possibility and just being and accepting and knowing who you are and knowing there's always a way forward. Which means that there may be something even more exciting on its way. Unexpected, but perfectly imperfect for what is. And as you contemplate that, you can also consider that you are certain about the fact that thoughts and how you focus directs how you feel, impacts your experiences in life, and that choosing your focus carefully can help you be more certain about you and be more certain about which thoughts that you allow yourself to focus on now, knowing which ones are useful and helpful. Create the best version of yourself now as you focus on these things that you are certain of and the choices you make. Knowing that you're certain that you love the sound of laughter and the company of friends. And knowing that changing times and conditions are a normal thing, a correction, coming back to equilibrium. And through this change, you will experience a range of emotions, which is normal, and accepting them all for what they are. A reflection on where your focus is, so you can be certain that your brain and your body is working as it should. Accepting the emotions that feel good, accepting the emotions that don't feel so good, knowing that they are all good because they are providing you feedback as to where you have been focused. That's for certain. And now at any moment you can choose to focus on acceptance and just being, and move forward with curiosity in this great unparalleled adventure and new innovation and experiences. Because as you know, that's what we're doing here is experiencing life. Life as it is, the ups and the downs, and the certainty will come from within, security coming from within, safety coming from within. It's the only place it can ever come from, because you can never be certain of all your circumstances. You can only come back to your inner knowing. With the downs in life, providing that striking contrast sometimes a dim contrast, all providing a contrast to the shining light and beauty of good times. Certain that it's all just what part of life is, and that you can focus on being certain within you. Certain there's enough love, compassion, community, and collective intelligence to move forward together and expand the world to new, better levels of being, your world into new, better levels of being. Knowing what you should do, how to direct your focus to support you, dropping deep into your body, into the spaces between the cells, the space between the space. Just notice the stillness there. In the silence, there is a knowing that is your safety, your security, your certainty, all created from connecting to it within you. And because circumstances shift and should shift and do shift, and circumstances can be uncertain, know that you can be certain of you and what you choose, how to be, who you are, growing more and more into a person that can embrace and accept uncertainty with ease and flow and grace and poise, choosing what to focus on in a calm and grounded way, certain of who you are in the world, of the sun in the sky, of the breath in your lungs, certain of those important to you, of how you can contribute to others with a smile or a laugh or a joke, kind word, a contribution of something, of food, of love. Sharing your certainty with others because you know you are a contagious entity. And the more that you're calm and grounded and certain, living in your own knowing of who you are, your inner knowing, the more people will feel that, and they will be calmer around you and more certain about themselves around you. Connected in uncertainty and certainty, the two parallels. Everyone always uncertain, really, in the environment in which we live. However, certain in the capacity to be able to navigate through uncertain times. Making the decision to be here now, connected to your knowing, reminding yourself of these important truths whenever you need it through the day, choosing to take back control of your inner world and connect to your knowing by breathing, grounding yourself, deciding. And now knowing you can control your breathing now and choosing to allow it to continue to flow easily today. Certain that you've adapted and changed in the past and you will adapt and change again as change is natural. Uncertainty is normal. That you will continue to move and take the next step as things unfold. You, safe here in the moment, certain in the present moment. And now, you can press your hands together and anchor in this feeling of certainty and knowing, so turning up the feelings of certainty in your body now. Connect to that inner knowing in the strongest way possible when it's most intense. Just press your fingers together, anchoring in the uncertainty when it's at its highest peak, and then relax your fingers and drop them down once you've anchored in the uncertainty. And any time you'd like to connect to your inner knowing, your certain self, you can just gently press your fingers together now and feel that uncertainty now. And then relax your hands on your lap. And when you're ready, allowing these concepts to grow stronger throughout the minutes and the days, the weeks and the months, staying connected to the feeling of knowing in your body, being grounded and bringing your attention back to the room, back to full presence here now. So just take a moment now to check in with how you're feeling now. Just notice if there's any shifts in your body and see if you can label the feeling with an emotion and the intensity of that emotion. Take this through the rest of your day being connected, and despite what's going on, coming back to your breath and connecting with your knowing.